Hey, my name's Chad, and welcome to You vs. You. The other day I did a video about people pleasers, nice guys and gals, and patterns to that. And, you know, I also did another video about the abandonment wound, which I didn't know I had. But diving a little bit deeper in the abandonment wound led me to shame wound, and that's what that video is about. And you really need to watch that. So a quick summary of that. So it's a core belief that you've made as a little kid that says the reason I'm being neglected or abused or unloved and my needs aren't being met is because it's me. There must be something wrong with me. These are my parents, and they're not doing this for me. So obviously it must be me. I'm not valuable. I'm not lovable. I must be unworthy. That's what you come to the conclusion for when this is happening to you day in, day out as a little kid. Now, your parents might not even be doing this on purpose, you know, like maybe they're young and they got their own things going on. But when you come to your parents and that's where, you know, they cast you aside or whatever, you can start having those thoughts. And the thing is, it becomes a core belief, becomes your identity from you. And it affects everything you do. And it makes healthy relationships almost impossible. But we're not talking about like surface relationships. We're talking, you know, more rooted relationships. But the great thing is that it's all lies. This is something you made up to have reasoning for your parents' actions. And that's their shit, not yours. So yeah, let's let's get that out of the way. Their lies, all those thoughts. It's not true, man. It was a childhood reasoning that you had, which, you know, hey, you're a kid. None of it's true. You are worthy. You are valuable just for being here, just for being existing, you know? Just for existing. Sorry. So today, I think what I want to talk about here is some of the triggers from this. Like what triggers this program that you have running falsely in your head about everything you do. What triggers this shame? Well, what sucks is that there's hundreds of things. It could be simply someone rolling their eyes at you, someone not listening to you, someone talking over you, somebody, you know, disrespecting you. See, someone even just disagreeing with you could trigger your shame. And what's interesting is that once your shame gets triggered, something very subtly, you know, whatever it is, it's this crazy circle that happens in your background of your program running in the back of your head. It triggers like 3 or 4 different other things that start eating each other in this circle, which is basically in your brain confirming your shame was right all along. But again, these are all lies. And the other interesting thing is that this is your core belief. This is what you believe. So not only, and you're believing it wrongly, and it's not true, but those are your beliefs, but you've also put like a protective barrier around it, around this wrong belief about you, to protect that belief. So if someone starts loving you or starts saying, man, you're a great person, your protective barrier says, no, wait a minute, what's wrong with this person? I'm this. I got to protect this. This is what I know. This is who I am. So yeah, it gets really deep, and it can be triggered very easily, and it's running in the background. So I touched on it briefly last video. How do we, hold on, give me a second. You hear that? Sorry. I touched on it briefly before. So your limbic mind is what's taking over. And that's what's triggering. That's what's holding on to these beliefs, okay? It's not your conscious. It's not your identity or anything. But what's going on is that that's taken over to the point where you start identifying how you feel with who you are. So when someone rolls their eyes and you get this feeling of disrespect or not worthy or whatever, or you're not being heard or you're being discarded, that feeling of that is now what you think is you. So you'll let it go. And then also, like I said, it's defending, yeah, the one wall is defending these wrong beliefs too, right? So anyways, the way to beat it is to get your cortex involved. And your cortex is more logical instead of feeling based. So you're not who you are based on how you feel. So you'll say, you know what, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am respected. That's what your cortex would say. And I know that because of this, this, and this. And even though I might not feel that way, I know it's true. Right? So you got to start pushing down these feelings of this auto program that you've been running in the back of your mind this whole time, right? And yeah, you start doing that, and you start logically looking at it. The other thing is too, you know what? Like, you can't identify yourself on the outside of you. Like, I'm only valuable if I do this and this and this. That's how I find my value. That's not logical, because what happens if something changes? What if you identify yourself with this job or all these things, and all of a sudden you lose your job? What's gonna happen to you then? So, people need you to be valuable from within. And people need you to be loving from within, like you love you, right? And respect, you respect you. And then when you respect you, you won't tolerate other people not respecting you. The more you start thinking about this and the more you start looking into it, what will happen is that shame wall, when you recognize it, will get less and less. It will get less intense. And, it won't take as long that you'll be in that shame wall. So what you have to do is you got to treat yourself based on the facts that you know to be true about yourself, instead of basing things on the feelings that shame has produced towards yourself, right? Make sense? You got to treat yourself based on the facts that you know about yourself, instead of the feelings that shame has produced in you towards yourself, right? So the feelings don't identify you at all. That's your shame, your false shame. What I mean by false shame is that it's not true, man. You've just put that in there. And you put it in there to keep reminding yourself, see, I am not worthy, I'm not lovable. And you're protecting those thoughts, which isn't good. The truth is not what I feel. The truth is I do have value. I do have positive qualities. I am a lovable person. I treat yourself based on those facts. So besides somebody doing something or saying something to you that might trigger shame, there's other things too that you will do yourself to trigger your shame. Okay? So that may be stuff like, taking long to learn something, gaining weight, gray hair, like just, think of it, anything at all that might trigger this shame, and you start beating yourself up and letting this program come in again. But again, the way you beat it is you look at it through your cortex. It's like, no, it's okay, I'll fail, and sometimes I won't, sometimes I do, and I try my best. That's it, right? And you just start calling out the shame, and you start recognizing it, and you stop it in its tracks. Because again, like dominoes, it will just keep going and going and going. It will circulate in its inside of itself. So it's very important to stop it and understand it. Just recognize the triggers, right? And recognize how long it lasts in you. Is this lasting a week, a day, an hour, 5 days, whatever it is. You got to start recognizing all these things. And what will happen is it will just stop. It will slow down. And the more you recognize it, the more you're aware of it. Awareness is like 90% of all this stuff, right? So the more you're aware of it, the quicker it goes away. And now that you know that you can just think about it, everything logically, is that really true? No, it's not. I see you, shame. I see you trying to mess with me. Not anymore. Oh yeah, so the other thing you have to realize is that healing this is real, and you can do it, like I've been talking about. But you have to understand how fragile it is, and you can't beat yourself up for it. Like, so you can have a great day, a great week, a great month, and then your mom calls, she says one little thing to you, and boom, you go back. But the thing is, you'll recognize it now, and maybe it won't last you a week or a day. Maybe it'll just last like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and you just work your way through it. Again, being aware of this is so important. And what sucks is that no one's taught this stuff. If I would have known about this, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, man, what a different life I would have had. So I'm telling you this now, so maybe you can help make some positive changes in your life if you're dealing with this, Get after it, man. And the great news, like I said at the very beginning, is that it's all lies. These are all false, things you've told yourself that are running, though. It's really running in the background, like a background operating system. It really is. And you think it's true, because that's the way you had to deal with things as a little kid. But you're not a little kid anymore, and you can totally stop this nonsense. Don't forget too, as a kid, you really only had 3 options. You had fight, flight, or freeze. That's it when you were dealing with this. So you can't beat yourself up for this if you have this shame wound, It's not your fault. It was your parents' shit, and you took it as, it must be me. But you know what? There was nothing wrong with you at all. It was your parents' shit. Maybe they were too young. Maybe they were selfish. They don't care. They didn't realize that that's what they were doing to you. But yeah, it's all their shit, man. And it's not true for you. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, sign up for the email list too. There's also a guitar course link there too if you want guitar course. And yeah, I'm going to be doing some one-on-one coaching soon. And I've done some test runs with some people, and it went really good. And I'm calling it like an empath coaching. So, because I get right in there on all these different levels with you. When I'm dealing with people, yeah, I'm a super crazy empath guy, and I can feel things not only from what you're saying to me, but just who you are. I can figure out things pretty quickly for people. And yeah, it's going really good. So, think about it. Thank you.